What's going on, guys? Kaiger here. Today we're talking about something that has been a little bit delayed because I had other videos coming out for you. Today we're talking about flower fairy balance adjustments for the 3 fairies listed here, as well as our newest holy fairy that also got a change as well. So I do like what they're doing here. 2 fairies are getting buffed, one's getting nerfed, and one is getting something that it always should have had, but they made a mistake on their end. So I'm going to run through all 4 of the changes. We're going to go over to the game, look at them in action, and then tell you how I think they were. Now, we've seen small, very, very small bounce adjustments in the past. Not very many. Mostly just things like this with Dandelion and Winter Cherry making their skills a little bit snappier and doing what they're supposed to do a little bit quicker. We haven't really seen this kind of change with Lavender where they're actually changing numbers. I would like to see this with the classes and fairies more often. Not like sweeping changes all the time, but little tweaks here and there. As you've seen with my tier list for classes and fairies, the classes change a little bit more than the fairies, but that's primarily because of people counterpicking, learning to play around certain things, and that's kind of how you want a PvP meta to evolve. As far as the fairies, it stayed pretty much the same most of the game, minus other things being added. Now let's jump into the actual changes. So Dandelion and Winter Cherry have a very similar change. Dandelion, her skill now directly locks and hits targets when attacking. So before, it would lock on a location, not a target. By the reading of this, it sounds like it locks on the target. That I'm not going to be able to test that today because I don't have anyone online. The time of my recording is super late for most people. Skill hit rate of Winter Cherry has been approved. Second damage segment now occurs faster with a 25% increase of damage range. So we're going to see how big it is and then compare it to what it was before. Lavender is the one that's getting a nerf. Skill control effect has been weakened. You see how they word it, been improved, been weakened. The condition for ending slumber has been changed from receiving 150% of character's attack to receiving 50%. So that's, a third of what it used to be. Now, this is a very funny change to do right before they released our new Wind Fairy Almond Blossom, who ignores the slumber effect, which is a very, very weird change to do. As far as Hibiscus, which a lot of people are calling her Hibi for short, Hibi, if we swap over to the game, Hibiscus's change was that instead of, where's she at? Holy Hibiscus. So they gave her back her passive. That I did a video labeled nerfed already, and that's because there was no passive. Now her big thing is her active heals you, then does damage in the surrounding area, and the biggest punch was the passive that now we have access to. The skill will trigger when switching the Flower Fairy to Hibiscus via class switch. So from one to the other, very similar to Milim. Adding energetic to the owner for 4 seconds, so do you. And this will give you, for every 10% of current HP remaining, the damage plus 0.6%. When there is more than 80% current HP, the extra damage caused plus 10%. effect can be triggered every 30 seconds, and it scales pretty nicely up to 8 seconds, and do every 10%, 1.5. It's just the 10% that is scaling, it looks like, not the extra 6. So once we're at the max rank, we're looking at 1.5, and how many stacks can we get for 4 seconds for every 10%, so times 10. So we're looking at 15%, extra 10, extra 25% damage increase during this time. Now, those will not come up on your buff bar because this is just a dynamic change in damage. As you gain HP or lose HP, the damage is going to be fluctuating, and while they could put it on the buff bar, it's not going on the buff bar, and this is not damage increase in the same way that we have PvP damage increase or regular damage increase right there on our actual player card. This is a secondary version, no clarification, but I believe this is being done at the end of the calculation. We haven't really been able to get a whole lot, but that's what it seems to be. Now let's go over to the dummy and check it out. Now we do have the dummy practice here. You can go to Oaktown, and there are several dummies there. The only thing that I want them to change with the dummy thing here is I really would like to make it fight me back or something. So the main thing we're going to be able to check here is, let me go back and look at Dandelion. We're not going to be able to check. Winter Cherry, let's see how big it is. So target. So the smoke, and then boom. So the smoke is the same, and that explosion was kind of big. That is very, very nice. And what else did it say? Faster. That was a very, very quick going from the smoke to the explosion. We will do it one more time when the cooldown is up, just to pay attention. So as a reminder, the change here was that the it's going to do smoke, then an explosion. The explosion should be happening pretty quick after the smoke, and it also should have a pretty big explosion radius. So Winter Cherry, smoke, boom. Yeah, that's a pretty good area, right around this range, and that is about the same size as any of the barriers like Diablo, about the same radius it looks like as Rose's Rosebud, or even Mistletoe's barrier. So you can team her up. I usually like to put Winter Cherry with Chestnut Rose when I'm doing PvE. With PvP, you might think about teaming her with Diablo so you can go boom boom on top of each other. Now swapping over here to Lavender and Hibiscus. Now what I'm going to do with Lavender is I'm going to see how many auto attacks it takes for the slumber to go away. So we're going to slumber him, and we're just going to let auto attacks go off. So about 8 auto attacks, and he's out of slumber. That is not a lot of damage required to do it. I'm sure I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to attempt to use one skill and see if it brings him out of slumber. Alright, reset, summon, slumber. And he's out of slumber. So yeah, you need to effectively hit the slumber and run away for him to do what he needs to be doing. Now remember, I am getting a pretty big damage increase just for having Hibiscus around. If we come over here and look, That's just the flower thing right there. Up at the top, we have the passive skills, doze, which is right here. So it's not showing us the percentage on the bar, but it is that kind of squiggly one right there next to the holy. So you see the blue right there for water fusion. Then you see holy right next to it. Then you see the two other ones, Doze and Elegy of the Underworld, which is Winter Cherry's passive. So Doze is here, but it's not showing us the percentage. It should be 25 at full HP. Now we are going to test that by doing one auto attack with her equip, and then change her with someone with similar stats and do another auto attack and check the damage. Boom. 37,800. So fairy, formation, millum, swap. That's not that's white numbers. We're looking for different. Boom, boom, boom. Summon. Bam. There we go. 37,800. Do we still have the buff? Oh, we still have... No, we don't. So, that's strange. We do not have that passive anymore. We have Tyrant of Destruction. So, normal, basic, 37,800. And then let's do a white one just so it's easier to test. Reset, summon, 25,200. Okay. Flower Fairy, formation, Hibiscus. Check our passives. Doze. Wait for... Okay, God bless. We don't worry about that. That doesn't matter. It's the same damage. We need a white number. We're getting too many crits. Okay, so the easiest way we're going to test is Flower Fairy, formation, Hibiscus, bam, leisure, dummy, go, boom, 25,131, formation. So 3, we'll do Rimuru. More damage than before. I think that's... Let me change. Formation, take her out. 3 red. Let me see. Rimuru. Wills. Take everything off of her. Alright, I'm stopping the recording. Alright, I took everything off of Rimuru and Hibiscus, and they have the same star level, 3 red. So we are going to auto attack with just Hibiscus, and then we're going to auto attack with just Rimuru. Boom. 25K. Formation. Rimuru. Less. Okay, but very, very similar damage numbers. So either Doze is not working. I didn't read it right. Oh, when switching to Hibiscus. But it shows it on the active. So we're going to do 1, 2, put her over there. Alright. And then switch to her. And then energetic. There it is. So increases damage. So now we're going to be able to test it correctly. See, this is the point of doing these testings, so everyone knows what's happening here. All right, so we have lost everything there. So we will do basic attack 18, 27. All right. So waiting for Doze to come up, which Doze just came up. Swap energetic is up. Okay, there's the okay. Now we're doing a good amount of extra damage. So in order to do this, you see here's the Doze cooldown here. But if you don't have time to come into the bar and check, you will see it's grayed out under the buffs up there, under my name. And then once the cooldown is over, you'll see it lit up pink, letting you know Doze is able to be used. That is very similar to Tyrant of Destruction with Milim. So what do I think about these changes? So going back over to display. So Dandelion, we weren't able to check. Winter Cherry, it is a lot quicker. She definitely got a buff there. Lavender, 1 skill or 5 to 8 basic attacks is enough to get you out of slumber. Now you have to be more careful about your slumbers. And Hibiscus definitely has a big buff. She's definitely going to be a lot better now that she has her passive. She's going to increase her damage with a big boost over 80%. Let me know what you guys think about this balance change, if you would like to see more in the future, and which ones you would like to see changed. Till next time, guys.